Hello and welcome to Gardening with Ben's award-winning podcast, as voted by Grow Your Own magazine and by my followers and listeners. So if you're new to the podcast, make sure you click that subscribe button to stay up to date with all our podcasts, listen back to all our previous episodes, sit back, grab a brew and let's enjoy today's episode. Hello and welcome back to Gardening with Ben for Sunday's episode. It's the end of the weekend, but it's the start of my weekend as I'm off now for 3 more days and then I'll be back to work. So my weekend starts now. I've just finished my night shifts and I can enjoy being back on the allotment again. Unfortunately, the sun has disappeared for the time being, but we still can get plenty done. Fingers crossed the weather stays decent and we can get lots done down at the plot. And yeah, the last few days have been absolutely fantastic. I've been going down to the plot in the afternoon before work and getting some work done. Nothing too strenuous, because obviously I'm on night shift. I don't want to tire myself out, as night shifts are tiring as it is. So I've been doing lots of other little jobs, and the main job what I've been doing this weekend is starting to sort out my shed, and it's been a real mess over winter. Usually I've got it sorted by now, because usually when it rains I do work inside the shed, but it never seems to rain when I'm in the allotment at the moment. The winter's been absolutely fantastic. I've certainly not had any disappointment in the weather. It's not snowed, the frost's not been bad this year, and we've managed to get lots and lots done. We're ahead of where we usually are this time of year. And I'm looking at maybe possibly planting my first early potatoes this week, and possibly even my onion sets. Well, they're not sets, they're what I've grown from seed. I might get them in this week, but we'll have to see if we've got plenty of time, because my main job this week is going to be planting all my vegetable seeds, getting all them planted and sown. Yesterday I managed to get all my melons sown. They've all been put in, and hopefully we'll get some sprouting in the next couple of weeks. And yeah, it's a case of looking after everything now and keeping things watered in the greenhouse. I've even been watering outside, because obviously I've planted all my new fruit area recently, and yes, the ground is wet, but it's not as wet as it would be around winter time. So I've been giving stuff a good drink to get it rooted and to get it growing, really, to be honest. And obviously I've made all my new strawberry area, and usually around this time of year I'll give the strawberries a drink. Every time I'm down at the plot I'll just water them, because obviously I've got the water supply. I can just give them a quick drink of water every single day, and it will help boost the plants and produce good crops. So that is what I do at this time of year, because they need to concentrate on growing back to strong, healthy plants. Again, obviously I've just planted them all recently, so we've been doing that. And I've got all my flower seeds planted. They're all planted, unless I find some more hiding away somewhere. So yeah, so my main tasks over the next 3 days are going to be to get all my vegetable seeds planted. I don't know if I'll get them all planted, because I don't know if I've got enough seed trays. We'll have to have a look at that. Then I'm going to be planting my potatoes. I want to get them in and get that out of the way. Then I want to plant my onions, and then I need to start clearing my polytunnel out. Like I said, I've been clearing my shed out and putting all new shelving up for that, because I don't need a lot of shelving at the moment for the seed trays. But when they're all ready and they're all getting bigger, the plants, I'll need to separate them all into separate plant pots, cells, etc, etc. And I'll need absolutely loads of space. It'll be like a garden centre in there. And people will wonder, why is he growing so much just for himself? But I absolutely love it. Even if I don't eat it all, I just love it. I give stuff away all the time. I'm just there for the gardening most of the time, not for the vegetables and the fruit, even though they do taste delicious. I just enjoy being out in the fresh air and sharing what I do with everybody. So we've got all that to do. And yeah, sorting my polytunnel out, I've not used it for 2 years, as last year I was working 9 till 5 every day, so I didn't get a chance to go to the plot much, so I didn't try growing anything in the polytunnel this last year. But this year I'm going back into full swing in the polytunnel. We're going to have melons, cucumbers, tomatoes, peppers, chilies, you name it. Everything's going to be in that polytunnel. It's going to be absolutely rammed, and I can't wait for this year's crop. I'll be down there all the time. I'll just spend all the day down there. I have nothing else to do on my days off apart from record these podcasts for you. So yeah, I'll be spending all my life there, to be honest. And why not? It's a nice open space, so why not enjoy it? Exactly. That's what I say. And I had a look around my plot today. I've been having a look around. I've purchased the 2 broom plants, what I wanted, nice yellow ones, nice and healthy, from my local Tesco. They were £4, so they're going to be getting planted tomorrow. I'm also having a good look at my grapevine as well. As I've recently told you, I've bought a grapevine for my allotment, a seedless red one, which I'm hoping is going to do well, but we'll have to. But I was looking at it today, and it's got little sprouting shoots coming on it. I can see the buds coming on the plant. Now, this grapevine that I bought, there was a lot of bad feedback on the Amazon, and a lot of good feedback. People were saying that it looked dead when they bought it, and a lot of people were saying, well, it's dormant at this time of year, it's not much life in it. So I was in two minds whether to buy it or not, so I did buy it, and yes, it did look like a twig when I bought it, but I've been keeping it watered. I even put a plastic clutch over it the other day to try and wake it up, and it seems to have done the trick, and it's got little sprouts. I can see little buds coming on it, so it shows that it is still alive, and hopefully it will get growing. But my main aim this year on my plot is to do improvements with shrubbery, perennials, flowers, stuff like that on the plot, and concentrate on that area. And I've done so much over these past few weeks. I've bought hydrangeas, I've bought honeysuckle, I've bought clematis, I bought jasmine, I bought the broom, which I'm going to plant tomorrow, and yeah, next up is lavender, and I've seen the lavender in my local supermarket as well, so I'm going to go and get some lavender plants and get those in as well. So I've got all this extra scents, smells, flowers, all for the bees. I'm doing everything down there for the bees, and I want to try and improve that, and that is this year's plan, and it's all coming together really, really well. I'm pleased with how well it is coming along, and all the bulbs are starting to open up now. I'm just waiting for the tulips to open, and then yeah, that'll be perfect. But to say how many bulbs I've planted, there's still a lot of areas that haven't got flowers, bulbs in them. So I need to make a note exactly of where there's no bulbs growing and get that sorted at the end of the year. I'm going to start saving some money now and putting like £10 away each month or something, and at the end of the year when the bulbs come out in the shops, I'm just going to go mad and fill all the areas that haven't got bulbs in. And why not? If you plant them deep enough, you can still plant stuff on top of them. So make the space useful and get all the flowers growing in the allotment. So that's the plan for the end of the year. So hopefully next year's spring display will be even better than it is this year. So I really can't wait for that, and I can't wait to share it with you because it'll be absolutely perfect. But we'll see how it gets on. I may even take all the spring bulbs up from the front of my plot and restart that again next year, but we'll see how we get on with everything. We've certainly got a lot to try and do next year, and yeah, it's coming on impressively. And I've obviously got my pond in my plot now, and I've got some frog spawn in that what I've acquired, and yeah, I'm looking forward to getting some tadpoles on the plot and getting the frogs involved and jumping around eating all the slugs up. So I'm looking forward to that. And then I just need to sort my bird feeders out, get them back into action. I've got a few bird feeders, but I've not been able to afford to buy some bird seed. So I'm going to get some bird seed and get that sorted. And hopefully things are going to be very much alive and up and running on my plot very soon. and once all them seeds start shooting through in the shed, that is when I know this year has started and it's getting going. It's just getting there and getting that final touch done to it. And the worst job's yet to come, which will be to paint all my raised beds, all my fences, everything needs painting. I do that every single year. But it really does need a good paint this year. It might need a couple of coats on some bits, because it does really look pretty shoddy. But you don't have to paint beds. I just do it for aesthetic, and to obviously treat the wood, keep it lasting longer. So it's going to be a very busy couple of weeks, and fingers crossed, come end of April, I'll be able to just sit there and go, I'm ready to start planting. I doubt it, to be honest. There's always something to do on the plot, always improvements to do, and I've still got quite a lot of ideas of things that I want to do on the plot. I want to build some carrot beds that are raised beds just for carrots, and I want to extend my shed even more. Even though it is absolutely massive at the moment, I want to make it that bit bigger. There's a few things that I want to change on it, and I'm hoping to grow my tomatoes in there this year, because I want to use my polytunnel mainly for growing my melons in. And I had a funny message today on my Instagram, somebody saying about that they had seen this broom for sale, and I said I've purchased it from from Tesco, like where you saw it. And she said that she was laughing at my in my podcasts because I shared a tip on how to support your melons when they start growing, and somebody had told me to go to a charity shop and buy old bras and use them for supporting the melons, and they work perfectly. But yeah, it's funny, these little tips that you get told that really do stay in your mind, and you do end up sharing them with other people because they're that funny. But I really can't wait for that. I really can't wait for sharing my melons with you. But yeah, and obviously I've got my plums to share with you as well. But yeah, we're going to have some great fun this year on the allotment. And if the weather stays like this for the rest of the year, like it's going at the moment, it's going to be a fantastic year for a good crop. And I'm really looking forward to it. I know I keep saying I'm really looking forward to it, but it does bring me so much joy and so much pleasure being down at the allotment. Yeah, I don't always do a lot of stuff down there, but I just spend my time down there. It's my escape. It's where I go. It's where I am at peace and at enjoyment, and it's something that I just love to do and just unwind being there. I'm there most of the time on my own. There's never anybody else on the allotment site, but it's just absolutely perfect. I absolutely love it. So it's going to be a good, busy week. So I best get off this podcast, because I need to go through all my vegetable seeds and sort out what we're going to be planting tomorrow down at the allotment. So make sure you stay tuned for tomorrow's podcast, and I'll tell you all the vegetable seeds, what I've been planting. And there may be a bonus episode as well tomorrow, where I'm going to be talking about what seeds are in the Kitchen Garden magazine and the Grow Your Own magazine, because I purchased them today. I'm not very happy with one of the magazines. I'll tell you that in the podcast when you next tune in. So make sure, if you are new to this podcast channel, click that subscribe button, click that follow button, and then you'll get notified when new podcasts come up. And can I ask you a massive favour, please? If you've not left a review of my podcasts on Spotify or on Apple Podcasts, can you please leave a review? On Spotify, you leave a star rating. On Apple Podcasts, you leave a written review. It just helps get it out there more to more people and spreads the word, and it shows that it's an active podcast as well. So if you can just spend 2 minutes just doing that for me, I will absolutely love you for it. So until next time, remember, keep smiling, keep gardening, and keep listening to Gardening with Ben's podcasts. So thank you for listening to today's episode of Gardening with Ben. We hope that you've enjoyed this episode. Remember to do click that subscribe button to stay up to date with all our podcasts. Feel free to share them on your Instagram stories so that it spreads the word about my podcast and we get lots more listeners. Feel free to check out my social media sites, Facebook and Instagram as well, Gardening with Ben, and also my YouTube channel, to stay up to date with all my handy videos, how-to videos, and sharing my tips and advice. And feel free to check the link as well in the description for my Gardening with Ben t-shirts. Lots of funny gardening design t-shirts in there for you to purchase at great prices too. So thanks again, and as always, remember, keep smiling and keep gardening.